I just got off of one of my calls and decided to take a little bit of space. And in that space, I've just been looking out at this amazing view of the Rocky Mountains, and I'm watching like a whole flock of birds that are digging into the grass looking for seed and nourishment, and just really taking a moment to pause. And in that pause, I was sort of reflecting on what's really alive for me right now that I can share with you. And in the past 2 months, I have been a lot quieter on social media. And part of it is I know something that you can relate to, where you just don't want to contribute to the noise. You know what I mean? It's so much that's going on, so much information, so much news, just so much. And sometimes you just want to, be private and have your own experience and not feel like you're contributing to the noise. So that's real. But also part of it is that I have been in this great study of life in the past couple of months, and I've had some major redirections, some major shedding, major expansion and creation. And I've just been sort of playing with the principles of life and really leaning into my alignment of freedom in ways that I frankly haven't yet explored. And it really felt a lot like wiping the slate clean in so many ways of my life and choosing to really look at my life like a blank canvas. And if I could dare to dream, if I could dare to create, if I could dare to turn on my adventurous self even more than I have, what would I choose? And it started with simple things like Clay and I started playing pickleball, and now we're completely obsessed with it. We play multiple times a week, and it is we are individually and together coming alive through pickleball. And then it was what else could we do? And we've decided to revive Clay's next book that we started last year, What Nature Teaches Us. And we set a date, and we're going to launch it October 13th. And all of the things that we are dreaming of between now and then, including these workshops that teach parents and kids how to navigate the process of creating a children's book and getting it out there. And, how did we get 10,000 copies distributed the first year? How did he win awards? How did he become a #1 best-selling author at 7? And how can we give that gift to other kids so that they can go out and be the light in the world in their own way? And it was so exciting. What else could we create? And there were several other things that we've been sort of putting in motion: house projects, personal care, hiking more, writing more, creating more. And it all culminated up to last week. We decided to go to Spain this summer in July and walk the Camino Portuguese. So if you don't know much about the Camino de Santiago, it is a 500-mile pilgrimage that usually starts in France and ends up at Santiago de Compostela at the huge cathedral. And it's over a 500-mile journey, and we are not doing that. But there are other routes that are much shorter. And if you walk at least 100 kilometers, you are able to get the certificate of completion of your pilgrimage for the Camino. So we decided to start in Lisbon, take a train up to Tui, and then we start our pilgrimage in Tui up to Santiago de Compostela. And it just we are alive, dreaming about it, planning it, thinking about it, who can we become on the trail? And these are all things that I've been putting in motion in the last, several weeks as I've been a little quieter, because sometimes we need to just, have that contraction and go inward and become more of the observer of life and not just the one that's the talking head. I still have value for that. Absolutely. It's important. But if you're anything like me, sometimes you just need that kind of quiet solitude to go deeper in your alignment and then to radically express that in the months coming forward. That's what I've been up to. Hopefully you see some invitations for yourself inside of that. And just know, now we're going to be going on this journey together. So I'm going to start talking to you about our training schedule for the Camino. And I'm going to show you pages of what we're writing. I'm going to be talking about the workshops that we're going to be doing. And that's just sort of my life with Clay. That's notwithstanding all of the incredible things that are happening in NGNG with our clients and upcoming book launches and events that I'm going to be doing. And so all of that is still in motion and happening. But I think the deeper piece is just what I have personally been experiencing, the way that I'm evolving and creating. And, now I get to be in a season of expressing that with you over the next several months. And I'm excited to do that. So giddy up, year of the horse.